This is the way. Mic check.
1, 2.
1, 2. Oh, she knows it. See, look at that.
Yes.
Now I'm
And
not sharing my banana pudding with you.
You got banana pudding.
Oh, you got that again?
Where you get that from?
By the train station on Fulton.
Girl.
You know which one, right? Yeah. You want to taste it? Come eat some of my banana pudding. Girl.
It is mad good. If that's the same one I had before, it's
good. Go ahead, eat up. Yeah, go ahead.
Girl, you need another spoon.
I know. Let me chill today. I swear.
I like how you be bringing food for yourself though. Like.
Yeah, I swear. What happened was I got off the train and I just got it because it was only one. I said, I'm sorry, guys.
But how many were on the rack? Like you could have grabbed like multiple banana puddings.
No, she just had one banana pudding. Then she had the other one, the Oreo.
Gotcha.
The Oreo and cookie dough.
Gotcha.
She's the bomb.
Who it is?
She's in the Fulton Street train station. Like, she's right there. As soon as you get off the escalator, there she is. She has everything. She even has, like, a purple yam cupcake. I saw that.
A purple yams? Where's she from? Alabama?
I guess so.
I don't know. It's your cousin?
Got some yams, banana pudding.
Everybody. Do we need the 10 seconds?
No, it sounds pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Shit, we just talking already. I'm ready whenever.
Boomer.
Yeah.
All right, music coming.
Boomer.
You don't have to fade it out. Just let it go.
Okay. Here we go.
Am I going to do the intro?
Check. Oh, man. Roughest intro ever. Check. If you're not hearing the sound of my voice, that means you're now tuned into Chapter 91 of the Introverted Intuition Podcast. My name is Jeff, a.k.a. the Petty Podcaster, a.k.a. the Ambitious Introverts.
Oh, I like that.
Yes. Tonight, I have two amazing women with me. To my left is my co-host, Lainey.
Ew.
What's up?
Hi, I'm here, guys.
She's here with banana pudding. Fresh purchase of banana pudding.
Banana pudding.
Right.
You know?
And we have a special guest that I already kind of had a mini interview with already. This is part 2. We had a nice hour-long conversation about everything, but we're gonna get into what I didn't ask. A friend recommended me your work. Sent me over your Instagram page. I'm not gonna put her on blast just because I don't know, I want to do that, but I was very happy with what I saw, and I sent the email out, and I definitely wanted to speak to you, and here we are. So.
Wow.
Please introduce yourself to the people.
So what's up, everyone? I am Victoria Levert, aka Instagram. It's just Vic. So I'm a writer, model, musician, a little bit of everything, I think.
A little bit of everything.
Just a little bit too much at times, but yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'm glad I got the actual pronunciation of your last name because I didn't want to say it and say it wrong. Yeah,
Levert.
But does that mean anything in particular?
Are you a Levert?
I am a Levert.
A Levert.
Wait, Levert?
Yeah, like a Levert, the musicians, the singers.
She's a Levert. Ew.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Is that
Really?
before my time?
What do you? I'm so confused.
The
Jeff.
Levert.
The Leverts. You know, like Gerald, like the musicians.
Gerald Levert, Eddie Levert.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a group.
like she's a Levert.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, Laney. Damn, you got mad offended right quick.
Because I'm just kind of figuring. I'm just like, wait a minute. Like I know there's a little small age gap, but we're not that big in the gap where you don't know a Levert.
I don't know. I had a mind fart for a second. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize. If I offended any of the Leverts out there, I'm sorry.
Nah, the Leverts, we're okay with that. It's okay.
Right.
It's okay. Now you know.
That's pretty dope.
Right. So you mentioned when you first walked in that you listened to the show before.
Yes. This I've listened to chapter 90, which was the last one.
Okay.
I believe 86.
86. I don't remember that one. Shout out to whoever was the guest.
Yeah. It was a girl.
Shout out to the girl.
It was a lady. She was really dope, actually. I believe.
86.
I don't know.
I'm sitting here like 86.
I'm checking right
if
now.
it is 86, I would think it is. It was whatever it was a lady.
Liz.
Liz,
Yeah.
yes.
Shout out to
Okay.
Liz.
I was like, it was a lady.
Yeah.
Liz, how you
I had
doing?
a feeling it was Liz.
Yeah.
Liz was dope, yeah.
Today's her birthday. Shout out to her. Happy birthday.
Oh,
happy
Liz.
happy
Liz.
birthday, Liz.
Right.
You were dope. But yeah, I've been listening.
I'm glad that you listened, and thank you for coming.
No problem. I'm really excited to be here. And yeah.
Could you give our listeners just a brief, I guess, synopsis of who you are and how your career path started? Which started first? Do you do multiple things?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so like I said, I'm Victoria. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm currently 20 years old. I'm a writer, journalist, model, actor, singer. Anything in the entertainment industry, you can put me in it and I'm ready to go.
Did you do stand-up recently?
I did do stand-up comedy
I saw that
recently.
Wow.
I did.
I actually was going to get into that a little later because I had some questions about which was just topic of discussion.
Oh, of course.
But,
of course. Well, of course. That
yeah.
should be interesting.
Right.
But yeah, like I said, anything in the entertainment industry, you can just kind of like media and entertainment. That's my area of expertise. I first got started in fashion. I think that was my first passion in life. Music came second, but fashion came first. And the reason why is because my mom has always been extremely expressive. Shout out to my mom. She's been extremely expressive with clothing since I can remember. She was a single mom with me at first, struggling. In Alabama, my mom, oh my gosh, we went from house to house to house. Seemed like sometimes sleeping in her car, washing up in gas stations, and me not eating a lot of times. But one thing my mom always had was she always looked good. She struggled, but she always looked good. Sometimes that meant clothes being in layaway. She's not getting them until 3 months from the day she picked it out, but she had her stuff together. So my mom is who introduced me to big brands. The first purse I ever got was a Louis Vuitton bag that I still have from my mom. That was like her first big gift to me. I was around 4 years old, and just watching my mom, she introduced me to Betsy Johnson, Dior, Diane von Furstenberg, who I love, Christian Siriano, a lot of designers that I've worked with today, actually, as a writer. My mom is who first introduced me to their work. So I've been following clothing since I was a kid. I got into modeling when I was around 9 years old.
Were you like scouted out like by a creepy guy in the mall or something?
No. Same situation, kind of, but not creepy man.
Okay,
not
cool.
creepy man in the mall. I guess I should talk about my dad really quick. My dad's in the Army.
Okay.
Well, stepdad, but I call him my father. He's the only dad I've ever known. He's in the Army, and we were stationed in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I was about 9 years old, and it was my mother and I, we were in, what is the name of this? It was an arts and crafts store. It wasn't Michael's, but it was something else. I can't think of the name of it. But it was whatever the competitor to Michael's is. If y'all go to arts and crafts stores, you know what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I don't think y'all have them here in New York anyway. But
I don't know.
I mean, I think
I
if
don't
you just
think
have
I've ever
Michael's, yeah.
I don't think I've really ever been in an arts and crafts store. That was never my thing.
I'm looking at it. I don't know the name of it, but the letters are an orange, kind of like Big Lots, but it's not Big Lots. I can't think of the name of this arts and crafts store.
Yep, just Michael's over here.
Yeah, okay. Well, is down south. It's the competitor to Michael's. But anyway, my mom, my baby, like infant sister at the time, and myself, we were in the store, and this lady just like stopped my mom and was like, I would like to do a photo shoot with her.
Oh, wow.
And my mom was like, what?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Yeah, and she was like, no, she's beautiful. I just want to do a photo shoot with her. So that was my first photo shoot. It turned into, after I did that shoot at 9, John Casablanca Agency harassed my mother. I don't know how they got her information. My mom was like getting phone calls left and right from this agency, like, can we just please like see her? We just want her to come in. And at the time, I did not want to model. It was very funny. My mom gave me the choice when I was 9 years old. She said, do you want to model like full time, or what do you want to do? And I remember telling my mom, I said, I don't want to be a model. I just want to go to school. Literally. That was me at 9 years old. I don't want to be a model. I just want to go to school. And it's so funny because now
you want to be a model.
Yeah.
Now I am a model.
Yeah.
It's like one of my biggest streams of income.
Yeah.
So it's funny how time works out. But yeah, fashion was definitely my first love. And even on my journey coming to New York City as a writer fresh out of high school, majoring in English in college, I knew that I wanted to do fashion journalism at first. And that was my first job, was as a fashion journalist at Brick and Portal.
Okay.
That was my very first job. And, just I love clothes still to this day. I love fashion. I'm still in the fashion industry. That was my first love. And, that's where I got started. Then I transitioned into music. Again, early on, as you stated, I'm a Levert. So musicians are everywhere.
Yeah.
Literally, it's in my blood. My mother, even, she was struggling in Alabama, but she was a gospel artist. So when I was a kid, my mom's a single mom. I remember we didn't really have any place to stay, but we were in the studio. And I'm like 4, 5, 6, 7 years old in the studio with my mom as my mom's going over track after track after track after track. We're in there till like 3 a.m. We're getting in the car. Little did these people know, the producers, they're not even knowing. We're getting in the car. My mom's got black trash bags in the back of the seat with our clothes, and we're sleeping in the car until the next day. But she grind, and she was doing shows and going on tour and just working and working and working and working towards her goal. My grandfather is a musician. Music is just something that was always big in my family. And there's no boundaries. To this day, there's no boundaries when it comes to music. All forms of music are welcomed. And so as a little girl, I always would sing, but I never had confidence in it. So one day, I grew up in church as well. Southern church girl. I'm in the church. Everyone's cleared out of the sanctuary. My little self is thinking I'm in there by myself. I'm at the piano, and I don't even remember what I was singing. I think I was singing Glory to Glory, but I was singing some song, and my cousin, who I call my uncle. Everyone calls him uncle, but he's not. You know how black people do.
Yes.
It's just like, this is not your uncle.
Call my uncle my brother.
That's just happens.
It's just how it happens. That's family,
That's what we do.
Yeah, that's how we do, and I love that. But he ended up barging in on me, and he goes, Tatiana, because Victoria is my middle name. So back in Alabama, people don't call me Victoria. They call me Tatiana.
Tatiana.
He's like, Tatiana, was that you? And I was like, I'm like scared because you're not supposed to be in the sanctuary, number one. And I'm like, yeah. And he gets my mom, and he grabs my mom. He's like, she can sing. And my mom was like, nah.
She can't sing. I never heard her.
Yeah, like, nah. And he was like, no, she can really sing. And my mom was like, yeah, right, okay,
let's
whatever.
Hear it.
Yeah, whatever, right? And I always have been, like, scared to sing for my mom because my mom's so good. Yeah. I've always been scared. But I grew up, I ended up picking up a guitar. That was my first instrument. I just asked my mom for a guitar because my birthday is December 23rd. So I'm like a Christmas baby. So it's like you get one gift. What's your one gift going to be? What's your one gift going to be? And I was like 8. I was like, I want a guitar. So my mom got me a guitar. And I had no formal training. I just knew that my granddad played guitar, and I would always watch my granddad play guitar. And I just picked it up, and I just started playing with it, and I was good just from the start. And it went from me playing guitar to me playing the violin. Another instrument I never had formal training with until I got to, like, high school, because I picked it up in the 8th grade, which is really late to start playing the violin.
Yeah.
But when the teacher asked me, she was like, what instrument do you play? I just went in. I was like, the violin. And I just sat in the back of the class and just watched the kids and just faked like I could read the music, and I couldn't, but I could hear. Like, I could hear the pitches on the instrument and hear what they were playing and just finger it out from there. But I didn't really start, like, reading the music until I got to high school. did fairly well, had multiple violin, like, music scholarships for college. And now I record music, which is funny, as a singer. Like, now I'm recording. I have an album coming out, hopefully, within the next 2 months.
Wow.
Are you signed anywhere?
I'm not signed.
So everything's independent?
It's all independent, yeah. But it's coming out, so...
Are you following your mother's footsteps? Are you going gospel, or are you more of the R&B?
No, I'm R&B. I'm not gospel.
Neo soul.
More, yeah, exactly. More like neo soul. That's kind of what made my mom unique with her music. And she kind of faced a little bit of backlash and controversy in the gospel music industry because my mom, she has a very neo soul sound. She's not your typical. My mom's never been like that where you're listening to choirs and all this. No, my mom, she wanted people to dance. Like, that's my mom to this day. Whenever she makes music, she wants you to dance. Right. Like, she wants you to feel it. So. And my mom's voice is so unique. It's one of the most beautiful voices you can ever hear. Like, if you can imagine Erykah Badu and Jill Scott's voices combining, you have my mother's voice.
I would love to hear that.
Yeah. I'll bring her over here one day so y'all can.
Do you want to do a song with your mom one day? Like maybe an album?
She actually wants me to. It's funny you said that. She's been on my butt for the past, week. She wrote a song. Because she just found out that I could really sing. I played her, my first track, and shockingly, she loved it. And I was really surprised.
Oh, wait, from 9 till now, she hasn't heard you sing?
No, I never, would sing for my mom. She heard me sing around the house, but not, seriously.
Yeah.
Just me joking around. I never would gloat about singing, ever.
Was that out of fear, of her judgment or maybe not meeting up to her expectations?
Yeah, not meeting up to her expectations. I think that was the thing. My mom is very much if you're going to do something, you better be good at it.
Yeah.
That's always, and my mom's still like that. If you're going to do it, you better be good. And so when it came to singing, you have to think all of my uncles can sing, my mom can sing, my grandma can sing, my granddad can sing, everybody can sing.
Right. Yes.
So I was my mom wanted me to be a schoolgirl, so I'm gonna just be a schoolgirl and a model. Just let the music thing go for a while.
Yeah.
But shockingly, I played her my first track, and I think my voice resembles hers a lot. So she kind of was I really like it. So she was like, Vicky, I wrote this song for you. And I want you to, get on it and go to the studio. And I, kind of pushed it off because I've been busy, not because I'm intentionally blowing it off. But I'm just busy, Mom. But she's been staying on me. So I've been telling her, I was like, okay, the next time you're in New York, I'm going to take you to the studio and we'll push it out. So there most likely will be a song with me and my mom.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So what do you like to do the most? Do you like to model more or do you like to sing more? When it comes to your creativity, what gives you the most freedom and the most, happy thoughts?
The most freedom and the most happy thoughts? That is so interesting. For me, it's writing.
Writing.
It's writing. Even with my music and singing, I write all my songs.
Oh, okay, cool.
So for me, even as a kid, writing has always been my outlet, and it's what I've made my professional career out of as a journalist. It's where I can be my most expressive, I feel and not receive so much judgment. Because when you're a model, I'm not going to ever crap on modeling, right? But it's not something that brings me very much joy. Why is that? Because I can't really be expressive of myself when I'm in front of the camera or when I'm on a catwalk.
Yeah.
You have to be structured as a model. I'm not your typical model. I am not a size 0.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm tall, so I can't even say that, but I'm not your stereotypical black model, one. With black models, they want you to be either a dark-skinned girl, because they're beautiful all the way around, or they want you to be really, really light. I'm not that. I'm just I'm just the black girl. I'm just the normal girl, right? So for me, I definitely face issues, and they try to structure you because when you're doing photo shoots, the photographer already has something in mind that they want you to be.
Yeah.
So you're expected to be that. When you're walking a catwalk, you know what you're supposed to do. It's very structured. So modeling doesn't allow me very much creative expression.
That's very interesting because on the outside looking in, I feel like the best product can come from you being yourself and organic through a shoot, right?
Right.
I mean, you can't get to choose what you wear, but how you feel and pose during the shoot. Like,
true. You get a little bit of freedom, a little bit there, but still, even then, like I said, because a photographer usually has something in mind. I don't know, when it comes to fashion and modeling, they usually already have something particular in mind, or they have another model that they're already wanting you to look like or be like to use as a guide, right? So they're gonna, even if I I love to use my hands when I model. This is a true thing. I love putting my hands around me somewhere. If I try that, it's very common for a photographer to come and move me and say, I want you to do this. You're trying to do something with your face, and they'll say, no, look this way.
I would hate that. I can never be a model. I mean, I don't have the qualifications at all, but that sounds annoying. Like,
it can be frustrating, but also, it's also an industry and a field that I've done well in, so I have to be thankful for it.
Right.
But when it comes to being creative with it, there's not very much room for models to be creative. If you're being creative as a model, especially not starting out, like I'm no Naomi Campbell or Tyra Banks, right? Now, when you're on their level, the photographers fear you at that point, right? When you're just like a normal model in New York, you're just a normal girl. They're like, listen, if you don't do what I tell you, we can have a replacement like this. So there's not, and a lot of models feel this way. Seriously, a lot feel this way. You can't really be yourself. I don't think modeling is an industry for you to be yourself in.
Right.
To be quite honest.
More like a clone, carbon copy.
Yeah, models are more like. I mean, truly, when you look at a lot of them,
same structure walk,
same structure walk, the same size. They usually have the same look, the same face. They're gonna cut their hair. You know, all the black girls now, they want you to shave your hair off. I want the hair gone.
Well, that's kind of changed a bit, right? I mean, there's like plus size models that are accepted now.
Who's that girl?
Yeah.
Tyra Banks always did that on her show. Like every time there was always the one bald, like the one girl, she was shaved bald.
Yeah, everyone they want someone you got to cut the hair because we want to show off your face. Or, like you said, there are changes. A lot of changes are being made in the modeling industry, but there's still a structure to them. Like, it's still like you can only go so far. Because, I mean, if we're looking at now versus the 90s, right? In the 90s, we had what black models? We knew we had Naomi and we had Tyra.
That's all I know, yeah.
Right? That's really all anyone knew.
Yeah.
Well, I used to watch America's Next Top Model. Then I saw Eva Marcel and
Takara.
Yeah,
this is all a new change.
They were dope.
Yeah, right. This is all a new change.
I think Takara still even does modeling work.
Yeah, Takara does.
She doesn't get her flowers and I guess I don't think she started plus size modeling obviously, but I feel like she kind of made it more popular.
I do feel that way. I understand what you're saying. I do feel like Takara has made plus size modeling more mainstream in a sense. She reminded us of plus size modeling.
Right.
That it does exist.
Right. It does.
So.
Yeah. And like I said, you can see even a rise in that. Like plus size models are definitely becoming more accepted. I have a friend, Sophie Turner. She's one of the biggest plus size models on the scene right now. And
that name sounds so familiar.
Yeah, if you saw her, you'd know who she is.
White girl, blonde hair.
Yeah, white girl, blonde hair. That's her. Cool. This is one of my best friends. Like, you know how I told you before, I have 5 people on one hand. She's one of them.
I actually think I reached out to her for an interview. I didn't get a response, but
she's pretty dope. She's pretty dope. After she sees this, Sophie, please answer to the email.
It's funny though. My only experience with modeling as I've seen is through America's Next Top Model, and I know it was kind of glammed up for the television, the trials that they go through and the stress they go through. But is that kind of a reflection of real life? Is it kind of stressful at times in terms of what you have to go through?
Of course.
And what's the most stressful part, do you think, for you personally?
For me personally, it's always the weight. Always. And for most models, especially here in New York, I think we would all say it's our weight. Even if you're really, really thin. I'm going to tell you, I'm signed to HN Models NYC right now. And here's our measurements. So your waist, You should not have a waist that's bigger than a 26. Your dress size should be no higher than a size 4. For females, you have to be 5'9" and up. And that's, if you're 5'9", you're short.
Mm.
Your shoe size should not be over a 9. Mine is an 11. When I go on the catwalk, I have to squeeze my feet into shoes because I have big feet. I'm going to just be honest. They big.
That is crazy.
That is dumb. Like, okay. Why does your shoe have to be your feet?
I
be a
thought
certain
they would
size?
at least say a 10, a 9 though.
Yeah, 9.
But no one's analyzing your feet like when on the catwalk. Like, there's focusing on your look, your posture.
Yeah, but you don't. That's the part that you guys don't see. Is when, let's say there's a show, it's Fashion Week, and you've booked 5-6 shows, right?
Yeah.
You're doing good. You're backstage. You're getting fitted. Usually they're going to have sample sizes 0 to 2. They may have a couple of 4s. The shoes, because designers don't make very big sizes in shoes, if you notice, like for girls, for women, you can go to any designer. You will very rarely find anything over a 10.5.
Yeah,
if you find
that's
that.
very
If
true.
you find that.
Okay.
If you find that. So for the models, you're getting whatever they give you. And you can't say my feet don't fit. You better make your feet fit. And when you get out on the catwalk, you better walk like nothing's wrong. Seriously.
Okay, so then what if that causes, like, you're walking, you clip
And they
you
fall?
like, you twist your
Oops.
ankle. That's a
Oops.
liability at that point. Like, couldn't you, like, sue them?
No.
You could be like, yo, you made me do this. Like, why'd you make
No.
me do this?
You signed up for this. That's what contracts are for.
That's rough. I would never. You will never see me try to force my foot into a high heel.
I
that
can't do
put
it.
in.
I'm a size
I've-
10. I refuse.
Okay.
I cannot put my foot in anything else but a 10.
But they don't go as far as to, like, put you on a scale and have you at a certain weight. Wait, do they?
Oh, of course. That's
So
the
I
best
can
thing
see.
that
So I can
happens.
see why coke is like the #1 drug in the modeling industry.
Exactly. I was just about to get into that.
You do coke?
Heck no.
Oh.
Not I, said the wolf.
Oh, I was about to like.
Absolutely not.
Like, stop.
Not me, but I know a lot that do. I've seen it. If you go to these castings, right?
Yeah.
You go you open the women's restroom. It's so common to see, look at the stalls. These girls are on their knees, forcing themselves to vomit. Because you
Wow.
want your ribs to poke out. You want your ribs to show when you're trying to get cast. You want them to see that you're as thin as possible. So how do we do that? We make ourselves regurgitate.
Yeah.
They stuff cotton balls in their throats. I'm being serious. They'll push a cotton ball back because it makes you vomit. A lot of them will snort cocaine really quick, just like really quick shots. Because if you snort cocaine, if you have dark circles under your eyes, you can just pump up. Boom. Like nothing happened to you. Now, like you might have just puked your eyes out, your brains out.
Yeah.
You take a whiff of the coke, boom, it's like nothing happened to you. And you get out, you walk, and you go home. It's absolutely insane.
That should not be in the contract. Not coke isn't in the contract, but like
Yeah, it's not.
to have those strict restrictions to do your job. Like that doesn't seem ethical at all.
But that's what you sign up
It's
for.
a lifestyle.
But like I don't think plus size models. I can't speak for them, but I don't think they have to go through those same
They do.
tribulations.
I
and
feel like they
strict...
do. Like, 'cause
They do.
I feel like a plus size model has more to lose because she's already a plus size model. What's to say is nothing to make her go over the tipping scale?
The plus size model, from my perception, seems more progressive. Like they're embracing natural weight and embracing natural beauty.
But they're
like,
really not. That's the only thing. So just like I said, I have measurements. And normal models, we have measurements. So do plus-size models.
yeah.
They can't go over a certain size, whatever their agency says, and they can't go beneath it. Plus-size models also, they can't really be as natural as we think they are. Here's why. If we just let them come out with the way that their weight lays on their body, most people would perceive it as unappealing. So they have to be very toned. Plus-size models work out harder than normal models. This is a true statement. They have to work harder. Why is that also? Plus-size models are limited because when Fashion Week comes around, I can
Not
better
everybody
bet you,
wants to cast a plus size
right?
model.
I can better bet you we're not going to see someone who's a size 14 walking for Versace.
Unless they have a big name like Ashley Graham or something
We
like
won't
that.
even see her.
Well, it is Versace.
I'm just saying.
What does that even mean? Like, even that
Well,
state, people really say that.
Because
Like,
certain fashion brands, fashion houses, they do come with a certain look, and that has been their look since the beginning of time. I feel like Versace's one of those looks like it comes with a certain look.
not for us though. Like, I don't see
Not for
people looking like me wearing
not
Versace.
for me.
Like,
No,
besides the
not
Migos,
for me because
but
I don't spend my money on none of these goddamn
Yeah.
brands. Okay, let's be clear about that. But when you are a fan of certain things, you do watch and you do see and you do take notice that there is a certain look for certain powerhouses, like certain fashion houses.
That's depression. That's depressing because it seems like they're just training people.
I don't
these
feel
models,
like it's depressing. I feel like it is what it is.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't be though. It seems like they're training them to think like if you don't have these certain measurements, that you're not beautiful, that you're not good enough.
No, because
that's what it seems like.
No, beauty starts from
Within,
within and
yeah.
from how you were raised in your household. Like beauty starts from when you're first born and who you were born into and who's holding you, who's creating you, all that bullshit right there. That's what that starts from. But when it comes to fashion, it's a little different.
Shouldn't it all be the same though? Like, shouldn't these same lessons that were taught growing up transfer? Like, shouldn't these agency owners think the same way?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
hear what you're saying, but
I know
It's
where
like
you're coming
they're
from.
like creating the definition of beauty for themselves.
They're not but they're creating the definition of beauty for whoever is shallow enough to buy into that bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. That's not right.
But that's
it's all the way
marketing
you're
is money.
thinking. Yeah. It's
No
all
matter
the
what
way
you do out here is
perceive.
about money. Like whether it be a CBD company advertising to people with mental health issues.
Don't get me started.
But I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
like, everybody plays the game.
Right.
So we can't get mad at fashion houses. Like, that's what they're supposed to do.
Right. It's
It's
a business.
fashion. It's a business.
It's a part of the business. Unfortunately, like I said, I get where you're coming from because I do understand what you're saying. Like, you telling models that you have to be this weight.
Yeah.
You have to look this way. You're defining what beauty should be to them.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if you're not going to hire them, if they don't look this way, obviously you must not think that they're beautiful.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest with you, in a lot of scenarios, with a lot of casting directors, they might tell you that you're not beautiful if you don't meet those requirements. I have been told that to my face numerous times.
How did that affect you?
You know, it didn't affect me because, like you said, I was raised a certain way, and I have enough confidence in myself to know that I'm beautiful and that these people don't define it. Do you feel a little butthurt?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Someone just told you that basically you're not good enough.
Yeah.
But also, when you believe in yourself and you say to yourself, you know what, I'm not going to let what these people say about me stop me from going to more castings or from doing more gigs or stop me from modeling in general because I know that I look good.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you start to feel powerful because you're telling them off in your own way. And then when you see them again after booking another gig, then that's when you have the final laugh. But I don't think that requiring models to look a certain way, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing either. And the reason why I say that is because when you're becoming a model, you know what you're signing up for.
Right.
If you don't like the way that things are structured, then maybe that's not the field for you, or maybe you need to create an agency of your own.
That's what I would do.
That's what I would do, too. I
How?
think about doing it a lot.
Even when I take pictures for myself, I require myself to look a certain way.
Right.
Yeah.
I require myself to be a certain weight, a certain height, like for that particular shoot, for that. Like, I require my hair a certain way, my makeup a certain way. Like, it's a requirement. And I'm the only one shooting me. So
Yeah.
it's just like, it's a requirement.
I think I'm too emotional when it comes to like this business stuff because like the way these companies like require the things that they require just seems so ridiculous to me. Like,
I just think that when you have when you have a vision and you just want it to be executed the way you want it to be executed, and that's just that.
But this just doesn't even sound like more. It sounds like more than a vision. It just seems like just.
But
common
they do
sense,
have a
like,
vision though. Like these
Yeah.
fashion designers have a vision. Like this is what they see, and they
crazy.
create these clothes for a certain type of person too. Never get it twisted. Half these big designers, high end designers, it's not for us.
That's what I'm saying.
And with that being said, why even buy into it? See, I don't buy into that. When I see these big powerhouse designers and stuff like that, I don't buy into all these fashions because it's just like, at the end of the day, when you have style, when you have real style, no matter what you wear, will always look good on you.
Yeah, you can rock anything.
Facts.
You can rock anything.
Yeah.
So it's never about the label. If the label defines you, then it's just like you knew money. Or you're somebody who's never had nothing before in your life, and now that you're able to get something, you just want to keep showing me what you're able to afford.
I agree.
And it's just like, oh, okay, cool, look at you.
Right.
I agree.
So style and fashion is like it's two different things. Either you have it or you don't,
Yeah.
and then you have people who just buy into it.
So I can become. It's too late for me. I can't become a model. You kind of have to just be born with it.
No, like you could become a model, Jeff. You got
you
it.
can become a model.
You can't become a model.
You can become
Yes,
a
you
model.
can.
Because
If
it's also like models about a look. Like you don't have to
Yeah, a
be
look.
pretty to be a model. Like you see some models, you'd be like, "Oh, you a model, girl?" Like, hey.
You want to go on the cover of People magazine.
But they
you
have
gotta
great
have a look.
bone structure. They have like you have to have a look. No matter what you do in life, you have to have a look.
But like she was saying, like you're kind of as in terms of like the black girls who model, like darker skin is more trendy, right?
Yeah, trendy
So,
at
like,
the moment.
I
yeah.
can't change my skin any darker.
I like how she says keyword at the moment.
At the
because
moment, yeah.
everything is with the moment with people.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we don't run fashion.
Yeah, it always changes as well. There's never any consistency in fashion.
Who's bigger than Tyra? I can't name like a popular white model or other model.
What?
Who's bigger than Tyra? I don't know. I'm
Who's
uninformed.
bigger than Tyra?
Tyra
not-
to me.
Tyra
Tyra
wasn't even like the best model. When you think about, I always would put Naomi over Tyra.
Yeah, I was
Oh
gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
most
Them
people
two
like-
though. Like
to me,
they're like the
Tyra
Mount
was
Rushmore
more commercial.
for me.
To me, Tyra was more commercial modeling, and then it's Naomi.
Right.
If you're gonna think black
Yeah,
models.
Tyra is more like, from what I get told, when you look at me as a model, I'm more of a Tyra.
Mm.
You can see me on a print.
You resemble her a little bit too, by the way.
Thank you. I get that a lot.
I don't see it. But okay. I'm just
Yeah.
not a real Tyra fan.
See, most people aren't. Exactly.
I've seen
You don't
Tyra
like
many
nobody,
times
though.
in person. That's not. I guess sometimes I don't like nobody.
Yeah.
But Tyra's one of those people. Just that I've seen her too many times in person to really not to form an opinion and not like her.
Facts. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, nah, you're not. You okay? Like when she's still lying about the whole bitch. You had a whole surrogate. Like own up to that. She's about, I gave natural childbirth. Bitch, no, you didn't. You
Fam,
had a
I don't even know what you're
surrogate.
saying. You're ruining
But
all
it's okay.
possible connections with Tyra.
I'm sorry.
that we could
but go
possibly
ahead.
have in
We
the
ain't got
future.
no
I
connections
mean,
with
I don't know
Tyra.
about.
never
I
know.
don't know anything like that about
Keep it
her. From what I know of her, she's very cool. But yeah, but like when we're looking at models, you have like haute couture models.
Mhm.
That is Naomi Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Haute couture. Naomi's gonna book a Versace in the blink of an eye. Naomi still books Versace.
I believe it.
Naomi will walk across the stage.
Naomi's
in Chanel.
timeless.
Yeah, Naomi's timeless.
Facts.
Tyra is like a me. You're gonna see her on in Victoria's Secret. You're gonna see her on Sports Illustrated, like she just did a Sports Illustrated cover, and you may see her in a few magazines.
You know what? I
But
hate
she's
that you
not-
even compare yourself to Tyra. It's like you're diminishing yourself in a sense. Like never compare yourself. And
I know. Never
understand you
compare
have
yourself
such
to
a-
anyone.
Yeah, you know you have such a high regard to Tyra, but it's just like do not compare yourself to Tyra. Like please don't, because I've looked at your page and you do a whole lot more than just like you're not Tyra. So don't ever. Yeah, she's great to look at. Like if you want to say comparison, like I have nice cheeks, maybe. They got the same cheeks, cool. But that's about it. We're not gonna compare ourselves
Right.
to Tyra.
Right.
And no disrespect to Tyra. It's not. I don't have
You
a
already.
hate.
That's,
I don't have
that
a
ship is
hate.
sailed. You disrespect.
I don't have it. Fuck. I don't have a hate for Tyra. All I'm saying is, don't compare yourself to Tyra.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I don't
or
want to
anyone.
compare. Yeah,
Yeah,
or anyone. For
or
that
anyone
matter.
for
I
that
agree with
matter,
you on
yeah.
that. I do
We're
agree
not
with
doing
yourself.
that.
I was just saying, like, in terms of like a high fashion model and their rankings.
Yeah.
And then just like a commercial model, like you said.
Yeah,
That's
she's,
just
you know,
Tyra's just a
commercial.
commercial. She can do print. Not many people booked Tyra for a runway.
Going back to when you were younger, though, and you said you just wanted to be more of a student as opposed to like a model, like,
Right.
what made you even want to do it? And what was the defining moment? Was like, okay, I'll do it.
Like defining moment, as in, okay, I'll
Like
do
you
modeling.
choosing to do it, yeah.
Choosing to do modeling.
Yeah, the modeling.
Coming to New York for college and being broke.
Like a desperation type thing.
If I'm being honest, yes, I'm very open about this with modeling. When I moved to New York, I got harassed by a few photographers just off of the street, because when I originally came to New York, I had the stereotypical model look at that time. I had a middle part in my hair, curly hair, just natural hair, my natural hair, pulled it back in a bun. I wore a turtleneck that went all the way up to my chin, and I was very tall and just skinny. Like I was like a 2 then. When I first came, I was very tiny, and I have big brown eyes and these thick eyebrows. So they wanted me to do print, do fashion runway, do everything now. So I was like, I really don't want to do it. But then they started offering me checks. These photographers were like, I'll give you $500 just to do the shoot with me. And I said, I can make money off of this? Like, for real, for real? They're like, yeah. So that's when I said, you know what? All they want me to do is look into the camera with like a resting bitch face.
And then you got this.
And I got this. So it came out of more so me coming to college as a young adult needing money.
Yeah.
So what did you come to, when you college? What did you study in college?
Well, I'm still in college.
What are you studying?
English and sociology. It's so funny. My college story is hilarious almost to how I'm even in New York, because I never wanted to come here.
But you came 2 years ago, was it?
Yeah, 2 years ago, yeah. I never wanted to come here.
Why?
If
What's-
you
what's
would,
the-
I'll
what's
get
the
into
thing?
that. That's
You didn't
very.
want to see the street rats and the garbage? and
No,
all
it's
that?
not that. I had
You ain't
come
want
to
to eat
New
our
York.
pizza? Come on.
Listen, I love New York now.
Tacos?
I love New York now. People ask me if I'll leave New York, and I'm like, no.
Good answer.
I'm serious.
Safe answer, too.
But I'm really serious. Like, people who don't live here ask me that, and I'm like, no, I will not leave. I don't think, not anytime soon. Maybe when I'm 50, I may move out to Long Island or Jersey, but I don't.
Oh, you think she's a real New Yorker now? That you're talking like you was born and raised to when I'm 50, I'm gonna go to Long Island. Girl.
Word.
You know? We're gonna go to
Yeah.
the island.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Long Island or something like that. But leaving New York, I've lived all over the U.S. at this point.
Because
And-
your dad was in the army.
Yeah,
and all
because
that.
my dad's in the Army. So I've seen, like I told you earlier, I've seen racism in front of my face. Not that racism does not exist in New York. I want to make that clear. But
It's just different here.
it is different.
It's a different type of racism.
It's more opportunities for a person in my field that I wouldn't have anywhere else in the U.S. The people, there's a sense of community in New York that you don't get in other places. Other places are a little bit weird.
Yeah.
People, here in New York, you're on the subway, you don't feel like talking to somebody, and someone's going to talk to you. You never feel alone.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to feel alone in New York, but you don't get that aloneness. Now, if you go somewhere else in the
That's
U.S.
very true.
where you're in the grocery store and you're like, these people don't talk to each other.
People don't know their neighbors.
You know, that's
Simple as
crazy,
that.
'cause I
Yeah,
feel
people
like-
don't know their neighbors in other places. They
Yeah.
don't speak. You're living right next to this person. This was Virginia. Virginia was weird to me.
I feel like because in New York, everyone kind of has the same struggles and problems at the end of the day. Like the MTA, we all hit the MTA, right?
Yeah, we all
I
have
just
it.
want to
Like-
say, as a New Yorker, I kind of disagree. I feel like I'm always the voice of disagreement around here.
No, speak.
It's very true.
As a
by the way.
New Yorker, yes, I do know all my neighbors and everything, but every time I leave New York, it's just a bigger sense of community.
Really?
When I go to Philly, it's just so
Okay.
much love.
So you just said Philadelphia.
When I go
okay.
to North Carolina, it's just
North
everybody
Carolina, I got
speaks.
you that. I'm
Not
gonna
in
give you
Jersey,
that.
though.
Virginia, everybody speaks.
Virginia?
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
And I
She
think
has some
'cause I
experience in
have
Virginia.
I can get into my story with Virginia. I lived there for 4 years. I moved here from Virginia.
I have family in Virginia. Like I spent
What
a lot of time
part?
at Newport News, Virginia.
That's different. I'm going to agree with you. Newport News is... I'm going to agree. My family,
Yeah,
we
like,
would go to Newport News.
Virginia. Like
It's
I
black
had a lot
people.
of fun in Newport News,
Okay.
Virginia. It was just like a real big sense of
I'm
community.
going to give you that.
They do
I'm
have
gonna
a
give you that.
KKK channel. I will not lie about that. I'm not
Okay.
gonna lie. When I was in
What did I
Virginia,
tell
KKK
you?
I was-
like channel was it?
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I remember going to Virginia for vacation for one whole summer, and that's the same summer the whole thing with Amadou Diallo happened in Brooklyn, I believe. And I remember spending because I used to always spend summers in Brooklyn too. And I remember being scared, calling my mom like, "Hey, Ma, I don't want to be in Virginia no more because they got this channel, but I don't want to go to Aunt Valerie's house neither because, you know, they just did that thing in Brooklyn. Bring me back to the Bronx. Like, the Bronx is safe."
Yeah.
But it was just like one of those things. But yes, as much as I do love Virginia Newport News, shout out to them. They do have certain things, and it's just like you are very mindful of your manners once you. But I feel like this was anywhere. But this is with anywhere. Once you leave New York, you are very mindful of your manners when you are a
right.
person of color. I leave New York and I just be like, "Yes, sir. No, ma'am. No, thank you." Like the manners is just superb. Like, you be like, no problem. You can go first. Like, hey, go right ahead. And I was just telling my mom. I was telling my friend today because this white lady passed me. I'm just like, you know, I'm so trained to let white people do certain things because my mom is from the South. So I was raised a certain way. It's just like, I'm not gonna say nothing. Just like, okay, no problem. No, sir. No problem, ma'am. No. Yes, sir.
Right.
Go along because I don't want no smoke.
It's like unpredictable everywhere else.
It's program. It's like
It's
a
program.
It's a conditioning program.
That's how I appreciate you for saying that because that's how I viewed Black culture in Virginia. It's more of a program. We were talking about this.
Yeah.
It's more just kind of you know what to do.
You know what to do. And I know what to do in these situations. Like, if you put me in a situation, I'm always going to have, like, the utmost. And I can't help myself. But I'm always going to have the utmost respect for.
Are you always?
Yeah. If you put me in the elevator, like, if it's, like, us in the elevator, and they, what floor do you want to go on? Like, that's just because I'm trained that way.
Oh, no, I don't do that. That's too much.
Like, my mom used to clean up, you know.
Hit your own butt.
My mom was a maid. She used to clean their houses on the Upper West Side, but East Side. I remember going as a kid, going with her. So I'm just trained to.
Yeah.
I respect it. Could you speak on your experiences in Virginia? I mean, you spoke to me about it, but
Right.
like, could you give our listeners a brief
Right.
explanation
right.
of your
So,
experiences in Virginia?
Of course. So, like I said, I went to high school in Virginia all 4 years. I graduated from high school, 2-3 years ago now. So I was in Virginia the time of Charlottesville, the Charlottesville attacks. That was my senior year of high school. So the presidential run election, that was me in Virginia. And I keep saying, and I'm not going to keep saying it. I am writing a book about this time in my life. This was the first time in my life that I was brought aware that I am Black. And it was put in my face by the kids I went to school with, the teachers at the school, and all of the people living around me.
Was that because when you grew up, it was never in your face that you was different? Like, it wasn't because. Did you grow up in a predominantly Black neighborhood? Like,
Absolutely not. I grew up in a predominantly white, almost like my whole life, to be quite honest, besides when I lived in Alabama and my mom was a single mom with me. After we moved out of that, being a military kid, I often grew up in the suburbs.
okay.
So really wealthy areas.
So
where
it was different at that point. Like, you always
Yeah.
felt like equal.
I always felt equal because, I didn't think me being Black, was anything to... What makes me any different than y'all? I'm still getting the same awards as y'all. I'm still in the same classes as y'all. I still got the same curriculum. And no one was saying it. These boys were dating me. They didn't have a problem with me. No one ever mentioned, there being a problem with me being Black until my senior year of high school. When the presidential election runs, and I just want to make a disclaimer right now that I have nothing against the President of the United States. I don't hold the President of the United States.
So this is for the Trump presidency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the last presidential election. 2016. Correct. I don't think that anyone should put 100% responsibility on him for the actions that have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Does he hold some responsibility? Yes. But does he hold all? No, because he doesn't even know that any of these people exist, if we're being completely honest. Right?
I can make a case it's like 90% though. I can make a case.
Okay.
Of
I
course
just
you would.
I just want to say, in regards to the people
yeah.
that I'm about to speak on, I
Facts.
can guarantee right now Donald Trump doesn't know these people exist. Right? And he wouldn't care to know that they exist, to be quite
Oh,
honest.
shit.
Not even in the same tax bracket. But anyway, my senior year of high school was when Donald Trump was running and Make America Great Again was on the move. It was coming up, right?
Yes.
When he would come to Virginia, you have to think at this time in history, you're looking at the campaigns on the television. From Hillary Clinton and him, and you're watching the debates. And when Trump would have a rally in Virginia, these are the same rallies when the people in the audience would raise up their hands to him like "Hail Hitler." And this was like Virginia. They were saying like "Make America Great Again." If there's a black person in the audience, they're targeting them. Trump is like, "Get that person out of here," and they're like beating the black man. This is that time, and this is Virginia. When I'm going to school, imagine being one out of maybe 15 black people in the entire school. There was only 8 blacks in my graduating class of 300 and something kids. Only 8 of us were black. And it was sad because even though 8 of us were black, none of us talked to each other. We were all like enemies in a sense.
The fuck is going on?
I'm
What
being
the
very
hell
serious.
kind of shit is that? Jim, what's that?
Jim Crow?
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, like that. It was very much like being in Jim Crow.
That
Seriously.
is some bullshit. 8 of y'all, none of y'all spoke. That's crazy.
Yeah, we were like enemies. Like it wasn't a thing. Not so much for me, but that's how it was.
Did you ever try to reach out to them?
Yes. You can ask my
So,
mother.
like, what was the
I would
thing?
get picked.
It was
they
just
they
like-
they didn't like me. It was like a thing. I'm
Were
gonna tell
you pretty and they were ugly? Like,
I'm not gonna
Do I
say
gotta
that.
take
I'm
it
not gonna
there?
say that, but they
'Cause
called me
I'm
Black
so
Barbie a
confused.
lot.
Like, I'm just
They
like,
did call me
what
Black
was
Barbie.
the
Let me
thing?
put it like this. My freshman year of high school, there was a group, 3 black girls. Literally, that's how small it was. I wanted to be friends with them because I had moved to Virginia from Seattle. And when I was in Seattle, shockingly, my close friend group was Seattle, Washington. All of
that's
them.
like a whole bougie group. I have family in Seattle, Washington, so they like
Yeah.
a whole different specimen.
I
over
love,
there.
but all of my friends were black there.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm coming here and I'm like, okay, I'm at the school where it's like literally like all white people. Let me go talk to the black girls. I had this girl. She knows who she is. It's funny because she actually just reached out to me like a month or 2 ago to say how proud she was of me, and I just found it so ironic how time changes people.
Right.
I wanted to be friends with this girl, and I sat at her lunch table, and I'm not making this up. She looked at me with the other 2 black girls at the table and said to me, "You're too outgoing to sit here. You need to go sit with your other friends," and pointed to the table of all white kids. And that was my face. That's exactly what I said. I said, "I'm
So
sorry."
it's like, do you want me to have an attitude?
Attitude? That's what I thought. So I was like, "I'm too outgoing to sit here." Like there's only like 1 or 2 other people sitting with you. How are you going to kick someone out from a table?
Right.
She did. She really did.
We are definitely our own worst enemies sometimes.
We are yes, we really are. But so imagine that dynamic. So you're at a school where there's majority whites. They're not too favorable of blacks. And then the black people, they're not supporting each other.
I wonder if that was like out of fear, right? Maybe that sense of unity would cause friction and maybe cause like the white
I
people
think
in
what
the
happened
school
there,
to
she
be
just
like,
wasn't ready for another female to come through. Like she probably was dominating that group for so
yeah,
long. Probably.
I have no idea.
Some
This
mean
is
girl
ego
shit.
bullshit.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Right.
I have no idea. But
Yeah.
fast forwarding with that, so this is the dynamic, right? This is the dynamic for me, at least. You're going to school in your senior year, and you're watching the Trump rallies. You're watching the imminent racism popping off throughout all of the United States. And when you go to school, 80% of the school population is wearing Make America Great Again hats, including the teachers. I'm usually the only black person in my classes. I took all AP classes. I was literally usually the only black person in the class.
Yeah.
And everybody has on Make America Great hat. So.
Seriously. It got so bad because also at this time in Virginia, I don't know if you're aware of the missing DC girls.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that same time where all these black girls in
Are
my
going
area
missing, yeah.
are
They're
going
going
missing.
missing.
They're getting snatched
Right.
like every day. On their way home from school usually. When the news would report that they've been found chopped up, usually in a white man's backyard. So my parents took away my right to drive. They did not want me driving a car because it was dangerous. My mom was like, I'll pick you up every day. This was the same situation for many of the minority kids at my school. So we would all walk from my high school to the local library, the public library, which sat like directly beside the high school. And we would wait for our parents to pick us up there. There was a pickup truck, blue and white, always, every single day, same time, 3:55 p.m. Would come into the public library parking lot. It had a Make America Great Again flag on the back of it. In the car, 3 white boys. I actually know who each of them were because they were in my senior graduating class. Would drive around in a circle through the parking lot and would yell at any black, Asian, Indian, or Hispanic kid and call them niggers. No kidding. My mom's a witness to this. She would be in her car watching it. And I would often, because I was the oldest, I would try to protect the younger students and be like, just go into the library and tell your parents to come pick you up and tell them that they need to call you when they're here. Right? Because I don't want anything to pop off. It was like that. Take it like this. Not much has changed because my dad recently got stationed in New Jersey. The last time I was in Virginia was around Christmas time, which is my birthday. You've been to Virginia, so you know Wawa, the gas station.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So my dad, we're going out having a good day. It's like holiday time, no drama. My dad's in the military. He don't have time to cause drama with anyone. We're at the gas station. My dad is pumping gas, minding his own business. I'm talking to my mom. We're chilling, having a good time. I'm hearing my dad talking to someone, but he's really calm, so I'm not thinking anything about it, and neither is my mom. All of a sudden, the conversation, whatever's happening outside the car, goes from calm to enraged, like screaming. So I look out the car. What do I see? An old white man with the gas pump above my father's head, like cursing at my dad, like about to jump. So I had to jump out the car, and I was like, "Yo!" I'm like, "Yo!"
The New York got in her, guys.
Yeah, that was it. That was literally it. I was like, that was the most New York moment of my life. I literally hopped out the car and screamed, "Yo!" My dad, I never in my life would I thought that I would have to protect my father.
And this is my issue. Like, I just cannot fathom being in situations like that. I don't know what to do. And maybe this is why my mom embedded in me, like, you know, you have to just play the game, respect. Like, my mom, but she'd be the first person to say, like, she can't stand them. She don't want to be around them. But that's because different time. 1947, born in the South. And when she was growing up, if you didn't own your property and your property was on a white man's land, you were subject to whatever that man said. If you had kids and they needed to go to school, if it was cotton season, your kids couldn't go to school. They had to go pick the cotton because you was on that man's land. So if he's letting you live there, you just had to, like, so it's just
Right.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, and you know, to be quite honest with you, my dad, he's that type of way. Like, my dad is so unproblematic, and usually, like, I've seen my dad get into, like, have a white man, like, challenge him. Multiple times my dad is very much like, no, sir, yes, sir, whatever, I'm going to just back off.
Mm-hmm.
And this one situation, how do you react when you're just pumping the gas? You're not even doing anything.
Not even expecting it.
Yeah, you're not even expecting anything.
And that's when you do have a nigga moment. And it just be like,
and
okay.
even then, I'm going to tell you, even then, my dad still didn't even retaliate. I was the one to retaliate.
That's Jesus. That's God.
My
'Cause
dad
I would've
was
had a
just
whole nigga
standing
moment
with
at
his
that moment,
hands
like, you know what,
covering his
screw
body.
this.
My dad didn't even try to fight him.
I wonder
My
if he
dad
did that
was just
because
like this.
you and your mom were there though. Maybe
Could be.
He could. It
Just out
could
of
have been. It could
protection
have
for you
been.
guys.
It could have been. Maybe. I think so because I'm pretty sure if my dad were there by himself, he would have beat that man's. You know.
But
But
it's just also like it's one of those things too. As a black man, you can do that, but then the news would still portray you as the aggressor when you was just protecting yourself.
Even though there's
It's
hella
just like
cameras
you're
at the gas
always-
station.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like you're always on one of those things where it's just like, damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Right.
right.
I've personally never experienced anything like that in my life. I've never had like anyone come up to me in a negative way and like speak racist terms to
Yeah.
me. But like I've seen too many examples to know it's fucking real, right?
Yeah.
And you just never know. Like it's like you said, it's a losing battle every time.
It is.
Right.
And it just gets to the point where it's just like I hate to be like those kumbaya people, but what would it take for everybody to get to that moment where it's just like the color of somebody's skin will never bother you?
Right.
I think the people who are raised with those thoughts have to just die off. Honestly, like because like. I mean, unless they're embedding it in their
but
kids
this
and
is
it's
the
like
thing.
generational.
Okay, we can
but
say
like
that, but
most
then
of the people,
we've seen the documentaries where they make sure they keep it going.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like you literally,
Like,
like
we
I
can
said,
say,
I'm going
like,
to
I
high
used to- I used
school,
to
and
feel
that's
like
what's
that too, like,
happening.
oh, they
And
just
these
gonna
kids are
die
like
off.
14.
But then I
Yeah.
started seeing documentaries where they keep embedded it into the generation after that and generation after that. So it's just like, well, what do you do?
so isn't that I don't know? You just because you don't stop it. Then it's like yin and yang of life, right? That's the yang, and it has to just exist.
Usually I'm for all that yin and yang of life, but with death hitting so close today, it's just like, nah, I can't today.
But like
Like at some point, at some point, something has to give. When it comes to this whole black versus white, or whatever the case is, when it comes to this particular topic, something has to give.
it would have to be like a very prominent, like the head of the KKK would be like, "Yo, this shit's crazy. Let's stop." You know what I mean? It had to be someone like that to have a change of heart and just be like that. I don't think there's anything else.
Well,
that
yeah.
I
would
feel
change.
like
I
you
feel
know,
like
let's
anyone
say
else's
some real
conscience.
ignorant shit. I feel like as black people, we not the enemy. Like y'all so mad
Tell
at
them
us,
that.
but we don't even fucking rule the 1%. We like,
Yeah.
how about white people? Y'all don't even fucking rule the 1%. Like, how about y'all need to have a seat too?
We actually
I-
rule the culture though. Like we
the
we push
culture.
the needle forward.
Like we the culture. Like we everything else.
But that's the most important thing though. Like
But like but compared to the two, none of us run the fucking world.
Who does
It's
then?
the Jewish people.
the Jewish people.
And, like on some real shit, Hitler, Lord forgive me, he saw something we didn't see, and I don't mean it that way because it just wasn't a fucking million people to die. And
Wait,
what?
fam.
I know I'm
you
taking
been-
it there.
Yo, stop
I
drinking.
know, I know.
Eat the banana pudding. Chill out.
No, but it's the
That
truth.
was nuts.
It's something that people be thinking about, but that's like when you want to sit here and tell me a fucking million Africans came to America. A fucking million Africans didn't come to fucking America.
agree.
We wasn't on fucking boats. Fuck you. It just didn't happen that way. So don't sit here and tell me we killed a million Jews because we didn't. I didn't. Hitler didn't neither. But it's just like those numbers don't add up. The math don't add up. It wasn't a fucking million people out here like back then. It don't add up. Shit don't add up.
I don't know about all that,
Fair.
but
It don't add up. I'm sorry.
I
We killed 3 million Jews.
How did that
Not
situation
we.
at the gas station affect you? Like immediately
as
after.
immediately
Yeah.
after. I'm gonna be really real with you. I was angry. I was really, really upset. Like anger. Like I said before to you, I was never like a person who really saw race.
yeah.
And still to this day, I don't think I try to be very much like it doesn't matter to me. But in that moment, like you would have never heard me ever say like, I want to hurt this man because he's white. Like that's not the type of person that I am. But after seeing that happen, I was just angry.
And
And-
that's what you started to feel.
Yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I felt. I was angry. Like I was like, how could someone do this to an innocent man? Because we hear stories, right, about black men being attacked at gas stations in their car, being arrested, being murdered, right? We hear this. We see the news headlines. And when you see it, you're like, dang, that's messed up. But you keep moving on with your life, right?
Yeah.
for me to sit there and see it firsthand, that got really real for me. Like I said, like you guys are like, because I think because you guys live here, right? You're like, you guys are like, yeah, I've never seen anything like that. So
I guess it's different in New York. Like we don't face
Yeah.
it the way y'all face it.
yeah, it's not
different-
as
it's a different
yeah, it's
level.
a different racism.
Yeah.
It's like it's not as
It's
extreme.
more of a rich and poor. I feel like
I
racism
agree
in New York
too.
is more rich and poor and not black and
and white. I agree.
When I was in Paris, like I kind of experienced it a little bit. I guess I got
Yeah,
some weird looks
I'm sure
and
you
weird
did.
interactions.
I
on
know
the
you
train.
did. I had it in Paris too.
But like
I
that was
know.
the closest thing. It wasn't, but it wasn't like direct. He just
Yeah.
he wouldn't stop looking at me.
Yeah, no.
Maybe you was something.
I was an anomaly for sure. Like it was
Yeah.
like I was like one.
It's like
out
if you
of,
go to
like, 8
China or
people.
something like that. I heard like if you go to one of the Asian countries, like
Right,
they look
yeah.
at you as if you're. Like, you have to be
God.
famous in a
Oh,
sense for
no.
you to.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. Yeah. Paris is racist. I'm
Oh
gonna say
yeah,
that.
and the food was trash. How you
And
gonna
the
be
food
racist
is trash.
and have
I
bad
agree.
food? Like,
Thank you.
You gotta have something to back up. Like
Thank
what you
you.
talking about? Eiffel Tower wasn't that.
It wasn't
all
that great.
Wasn't all that.
I was just in Paris
Well,
and
what
they
do
were
you
rioting.
expect them to eat? Like is bread?
Something edible. Something edible. That's what I want.
Let me tell you, sis. When you tell them to cook steak in Paris, they believe in it still bleeding. Like
Yeah. No.
I
you
can
know how
see
people
that,
are like
yeah.
medium rare and things like that. No, the blood comes out.
I can
like
see that.
I ain't
gushing
gonna lie
out.
though. I had some good ass chicken when I was there. It was like some weird like Thai spot on some random corner, and it was fire. But other than that, I was starving the rest of the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was just in Paris, but like there are different levels of racism in the South. I'm not gonna put that on the South. In Virginia, it's extreme.
I believe it.
Right now,
Like
now.
I said, Virginia is one of those places. I love it, but they do have.
Yeah, it's more.
a
They are
KKK
very
channel,
in
and
your
I
face.
cannot deny
Not in
that.
Alabama as well.
Here's
I feel
what
like
I'm gonna say about-
Alabama would be a little crazy. I have a little cousin who's Alabama, and I feel like that would be like.
I
See,
thought that was on the forefront out there.
see,
Yeah.
I'm not ever gonna like disannul. I already told you, I do not. My family in my home state, I love.
Right.
My home state, I do not love. My home state is really messed up. The people in Alabama are great people. They are hardworking people, black or white. These are hardworking people, people who are struggling very bad. Their government is where it gets racist. It's their institutions. When you go to Alabama, whereas in Virginia, the KKK is just literally walking in front of you. They aren't hidden. Like I said, Charlottesville, they were out there
Yeah,
in
like,
their
they're just out there
in their
there. They make
capes,
their
right?
Chills
No,
thinking
yeah.
about it.
Right? In Alabama, you would think that it would be like right there in front of your face. Not that you don't get those encounters, but it's in their government institutions. Like, let's take the ban on abortion that we see right now.
I was just about to ask you that. How do you feel about the ban on abortion?
Let me just say straight up. Alabama, as we all know, is big on incest, rape,
Wait, what?
and molestation. Incest is legal in Alabama. It's a law.
I ain't know that. Don't look at
See,
me. I
I'm
ain't
telling
know.
you.
I'm so
See, this is what I'm
confused.
talking about. This is what
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
That's
It's their
nasty.
government. It's in the government that gets to the racist stuff. It's the government because you never know it. But incest is legal. You can Google it. Incest is legal in Alabama.
Y'all
Coming
nasty.
from a person who was sexually assaulted when I was a kid in Alabama. My mom tried to try it. She couldn't try it in a court of law down
Right.
there because it's legal. Abortion,
Okay, so when you say you was like it was like a direct family member, like
yes.
So there was like no bounds to this.
Hold up. Do you even feel comfortable speaking about this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine. It's
Okay,
fine.
so-
I feel like this should be
It was
spoken
just,
about.
It was like no bounds to the in the legal way. It was like
There are
didn't
no
matter
ramifications.
which family member it was. It was just like
it doesn't matter who it is. If it's incest, it is legal. If you are 4 years old and your mom says it's okay for you to marry your dad, you can do it in the state of Alabama without any repercussions. It's like abortion. If you were raped, you're still going to jail for having an abortion. And your max sentence is still 99 years.
And the doctor can fucking get more time than the person who raped
you.
Who's like they're trying to give you like
even
the
if it was
whatever, you know what I mean?
even if it was your uncle or your granddad or whatever,
right.
right? That's how the government works. So let's deal with abortion and how that gets to racism in Alabama.
Yeah.
When it comes to things in Alabama, situations of rape, molestation, incest, and things like this, it's going to be usually within low-income areas. And in Alabama, when we talk about low income, we're talking about the black people.
Yeah.
So a lot of in Alabama, they have one of the highest teen pregnancy rates. A lot of these girls are pregnant because of rape. I looked at the stats on this. 79% of those girls are black. If I stop you from being able to abort a child that we know you cannot financially take care of, we know that you are not old enough to even know how to take care of this child.
Yeah.
If I stop you from being able to kill it, then that means I have more black people in the future to put back into this cycle. So when we look at Alabama, I want you to know that Alabama has a chart. I'm going into incarceration now.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 uncles that have been affected greatly by the incarceration rates of Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah.
There is a chart where police officers are to arrest. There needs to be no reasoning or anything. There's a chart. You have a goal where each officer needs to arrest at least 40 African American males a month.
This is Googleable information.
This is Googleable information. You can look it up, just like the incest being legal is Googleable. This chart you can look at yourself. I actually found it out through a sociology course right here in New York City. That's how I found this chart.
The fuck?
So, seeing that over 80% of the black male population in the state of Alabama already has an incarceration record, if I stop a young girl who's maybe been raped from being able to kill her child, then that means that in the future, I may not have as many black people that I can lock up.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're not going to do that. Listen, when it comes to that abortion law, I actually look at it as another way of implementing racism.
Isn't this kind of like, isn't Alabama just like the definition of like new slavery, like new slaves? Like
it really is.
Like they're literally taking away
no,
women's
they're taking away your
opportunity to
right.
choose, like-
They're taking away your right, and not just Alabama. I think now Louisiana has gone in on it.
Georgia.
Georgia, yes. So not just Alabama. I mean, most people think of Georgia and they think Georgia is super black. It's not true. You're thinking of
Atlanta.
Yeah, you're just thinking
Not
of
thinking about
Atlanta.
other
Let me tell
parts.
you guys this much. 2 months ago in Atlanta, 8 black men were lynched in broad daylight in a Walmart parking lot. This is 2019. In Atlanta. Just last month, a white man went into a inner city projects in Atlanta, hopped out of his Mercedes G-Wagon. This is in broad daylight. There are cameras to show it.
Yeah.
And shot his gun through every window in that apartment complex. People died. This man was caught on camera. His license plate is on the camera, is in the video. I've seen the video numerous times. For some reason, they're saying they still cannot find him.
They don't want to. And why is this, like, I didn't even hear about that. Like, this is the second time today you've told me something that I didn't even hear about. Like, why is all these things being promoted, like,
But
locally?
you have to search for it.
They don't want you to know.
You do,
They
though.
don't want you to
shouldn't
know
have to.
in mainstream.
Media, like this
Yeah.
is media. Like media, okay, so this is the thing I be trying to tell people. Because, you know, you cut me off my rant.
You
But
left.
No, I mean, before that, my other rant.
Oh.
The sensitive rant that people hate to talk about. Whatever's put out there for you to know is because they want you to know it. If you don't get the information, it's because they don't want you to know it, period.
But why?
Everything. Do you know there's like a whole committee that with certain movies that like for when it comes to war history movies, alien movies, they have to get approved by the government. The government approves the shit.
Right.
I did not know that.
That's true.
Like everything is approved. Everything that you see is and monitored is approved for you to see it. Everything on your internet. The fucking internet is not like this free space where you could just put up shit and just like, okay, I got. No, it's approved information for you to see.
Okay, so this is crazy.
It's controlled information. Like, motherfucker, we are in the... Excuse me. Oh, Jesus, I had too many today. Like, forgive me. We are in the
Chill out.
Matrix.
The Matrix.
And you have to understand that. Everything that you know is because they want you to know it.
That's true.
And it's all right, let's save my thoughts for on a different episode. So, okay, you're currently like a journalist, or you study
Yeah.
journalism, and you have access to all these stories more than the public person does, like me, a regular
Yeah,
dude,
more than the average person.
the average
of course.
person. So, like, when you're seeing these things and you're knowing it's not getting out into the public, like, how does that make you feel? Like, doesn't that like piss you off at all? Like, how can you still do what you do and still continue to have this exclusive access to this information and still sleep good at night? And I'm not saying you're a bad person because of it, but I'm just curious.
No. It's fine. When it comes to like sleeping good at night, once I see certain things and I read certain things and sometimes I write about certain things, I don't sleep well at night.
Right.
How can you sleep well at night when you're having advantage to the truth?
How can you sleep at all? Shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't sleep at all.
This is why sometimes you just stop researching. You just live life, and then you go back into the...
A lot of things I, as a journalist, I understand can't be put out to the public, not because journalists like myself don't want it to be, but because, like you said, government controls everything. Sources, your journalistic sources, we have a job to follow, and we can't put out certain things. However, I'm an author, so when I see certain things that I observe outside of the four walls of my office, if I observe something on the street or I observe something through my own individual research, I can get it out in another way. You understand?
Right.
So my goal in life is to bring awareness to things. Like all these stats I just told you, I didn't get from behind the four walls of my office at my desk. This is from my individual research. This is from things that were sent to me by other journalists, but on personal platforms. Like, hey, look at this.
Check this out.
Check this out.
I've been listening to a lot of Joe Rogan recently. He gets into a lot of conspiracies and crazy stuff like that, and I was just I lost my train of thought. Fuck. So like I guess like I don't know. Do you enjoy being a journalist at all? Like even knowing all the things you've known, getting exclusive access to all these information. Like do you enjoy it? Like
I love my job.
What do you love about it, though? If you're getting, I mean, I'm not sure the ratio between crazy information and, like, positive information put out there, but, like, how do you even find joy in it at all?
How do I find joy in it? I find joy in it because, like I said before, as a journalist, my job is to captivate and capture stories. Any story I find, I love. Because I'm getting to go into deeper about someone or something or some event.
Right.
To me, that sparks interest. When I find things that I'm not necessarily allowed to speak on as a journalist for a platform I work for, that doesn't mean that I stop. I take that, I leave my job.
Yeah.
And like I said, I do my own research, my own interviewing, and then I make a book out of it.
Got you. I just got my point back. Joe Rogan, listened to so much Joe Rogan recently, and this is a question directly stolen from him. The government, right? You guys mentioned the government. Do you guys believe the ones who hide this information from the public? Is it just a round table just like this full of people who decide the what goes out into the public? Or do you think it's maybe one person? Like when we say the government, we can't just say that, right? Because it's such a broad statement. Like what is the government ever? Like where is the government located, right? Where are these discussions being had? So Who do you guys think are the ones who control what goes out to the public?
In my high thoughts, I like to say it's the same people who control the Holy Bible verses and what was put out.
But who are they? Like, where are they?
We don't know.
Yeah, it's like
And
one
to
of
be
those
quite
things.
honest, it's
It's just
don't
like,
know if
do
it's
I
our
think it's a round table?
business.
Yeah, it's just like, do I think it's a round table? Yeah, I think it's a round table of people having this conversation. But it's just also, I think when you had this conversation before, at some point you have to stop yourself from going all the way down the rabbit hole.
I mean, conversations
Because
like this make you want to go deeper because, like, it's
you
like
want to
how
go
much
deeper down into rabbit
had
hole,
they
right?
not
But
told
then
us?
it's just like once you get down there, you're gonna be stuck with the question of what do I really know, what's true and what's false.
Right.
Because then you start to
Yeah.
realize everything you know is just everything
Yeah.
that you was taught was probably a lie.
Facts.
That's also a struggle as being a journalist. So you were like, how do you know when to cut it off? Like, how can you sleep at night?
I think American Gods just said it recently perfectly on their last season. The truth is the truth, but storytelling is so much better.
Exactly, I agree. That's what I was
So
saying.
it's like
I
the
just
truth is the
captivate
truth.
story.
But storytelling is so much better. So it's just like, who wants to believe in the truth when you can write a whole story of like great possibilities?
Man,
I
I don't
know-
like this country. Honestly, like,
Yeah.
Is it
Go
the
ahead.
country or the world?
the world, I don't know. I don't know if the rest of the world is like this. I don't know if the rest of the world's government is like this. I don't know. There may be some people in whatever office may move with integrity and let everybody know what's going on. I don't know.
But can you
But-
really be in the government and move with integrity? I feel like at some
No.
point you're gonna have it. It all gets questioned. It all gets thrown up in the air. That's like that movie. What's that movie? Crash. When you had the police officers and everything.
Yeah.
And there was that one point was it Ryan Felipe or the other guy who was the newbie cop, and it was just like either you're gonna be tainted by being a cop, or you're gonna believe every stereotype you was ever told growing up, or you're gonna give everybody a fair chance.
Right.
Remember, he shot the guy because he thought he was about to pull out a gun, and he was just about to pull out a freaking little deity in his pocket that he carries around,
Yeah.
little Saint Joseph. But in his eyes, because he was black and he looked like a thug, when he reached in his pocket, no, he's gonna pull out a gun. Not the same Saint Barnabas he had on his steering wheel.
Yeah.
So it's just like, are you gonna be? Is nature versus nurture, which is gonna take over?
I don't know.
It's a
But
tough topic.
It's
Yeah.
super tough and it's super stressful.
It is.
I mean, I respect the fact that you can take all that information and
Especially
still-
as a journalist, like I feel like you're always on the moral line
Yeah.
of everything that you write and you put out. It's just like, does this morally? Yeah, it's just always a moral thin line between journalists
Right, I agree.
to get out the truth or to make people feel better.
For journalists, our story. Our job is to get the story out to you.
Yeah.
Regardless
There's
of the truth.
Right. There can't be bias when I'm being a journalist. Like, I may feel some way, but I can't let that show in my work.
So let me ask you a question. When you have these, like, if you ever have these certain cases come across you that you have to write about, like Eric Garner and those, and what's the Mike Brown? Mike Brown, like his case was always one of those things to me where you can debate it all day and all
You
night
can.
because of the where he stood, the interaction, the video, what was said. Was he in the wrong? Should he have just respected the law? As a journalist, like, what do y'all have to say about that? Like, was it something where y'all just said, as a citizen and as a police officer, as a citizen, we should just always respect our law enforcement? Or was it something, did y'all take it as a black and white issue, like this is racism? Or was this an issue of right and wrong?
as
As a journalist.
As a journalist, this is going to differ depending on what type of journalist you have and what they're writing for, like what platform. I'm a political journalist. So when I approach things like Tamir Rice, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin,
Sandra Bland.
Sandra Bland, of course, when I am reporting on something like this, personally, of course, it's a tough one. But when I'm writing, like I said, I can't show bias.
Yes.
So there is no right or wrong. It's strictly, this is facts. This is what happened. and I'm going to have to leave it to the readers to form their own opinions. I can't show what my opinion on the matter is. You can never, as a depending on the journalist that you have, but I feel like in making a good journalist in general, bias should not be shown because people are reading your work. You have to allow them to form their own opinion.
Yeah.
So
That's interesting.
you shouldn't let your bias get in the way of your work when it comes to journalism, because your purpose as a journalist is to report and it's to state
And to
facts.
make the person think.
Yeah, I have to give you your facts. And whatever the facts are, you're going to take from that and you're going to make your own individual opinion, just like I'm going to make my own individual opinion. But to save myself from danger sometimes, because as a journalist, I'm telling you, I get DMs right now. And like I said, I am not a biased journalist.
You should stick to the facts.
I stick to the facts. Even when I stick to the facts, I have people coming at me with opinions like, you did this, blah, blah, blah. You said
Because
this.
you're not putting your opinions into your articles. You're just simply sticking to the facts.
Yeah, I'm just telling y'all what happened. Y'all can take it however you want, right? Because my writing reaches people seriously from every continent. Millions of people.
Interesting.
Humble stunt. That was a humble stunt right there.
Sorry,
Ew.
but it's just the fact. So when I'm writing politically on topics like this,
Yeah.
for my job,
Yeah.
right, I cannot be biased. If you go by my book, you may hear my opinion.
Have you ever, like, because obviously your work has to get submitted and has to go through someone like your boss, right?
Right.
Before it gets published.
An editor, yeah.
Have you ever, like, put something out and then part of what maybe something you've written has been edited? And
Of course.
Okay,
a lot.
that's stupid and that's fucked up. Like, how does that make you feel? Like, some of your work has literally been taken out. Maybe part of the truth has been taken out. Like, have you seen something that's been publicized that you've written, and something's been edited and something's been taken out? And how does that make you feel?
Every writer has. Any writer that has an editor, someone above them, this is a part. It's kind of like modeling. This is a part of the job, right?
I don't like your jobs.
Yeah, like your jobs is what pisses me off.
I don't know. I don't like your boss. I don't like your
Mad as
bosses.
hell if somebody takes something I written
I don't like
and
your
just
bosses,
take it a
yo.
different way.
When it comes to that, like I said, you have to take it as they're doing what's best for the company. You should never take it personal. I've learned, because I used to have a biting mouth. Like if you take out my work, I'm gonna come at you for it.
Yeah.
Over time, I've learned, don't take it personal.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Let it go. Find another way to get that out.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's why I started writing books. It's like, find another way to get it out. There's one part of you that's a journalist. You have your journalist, and then you have your author. A journalist, like I said, in my eyes, what I've been told, how I've been trained, a journalist, you get the story out, you state the facts. Whatever the editor does, that's their job. You go with it, and you just let it fly.
Yeah.
Would you like to do like TV newscasting? Like, would you like to see yourself as the
like a reporter?
Yes.
Like an on-air? Of course. That's a goal of mine.
Could definitely see that.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. She seems like a young little what's the little girl? No, I want to say little girl. Jesus. The pretty girl, the one dating
The
Common.
pretty girl? I don't know. There's plenty of pretty girls out there.
I know, there's so many, right? Jesus.
Angela,
I know you
are
be
you
looking.
talking about
Thank
Angela
you,
Rye?
Angela Rye.
Angela
Yeah.
Rye. She's a
Yes.
reporter?
Yep, believe it or
Yeah.
not, for CNN. She's
I'm
really
only,
cool.
I only seen her on podcasts and shit.
For real? No.
Yeah, she's a real.
That's how I heard.
She's a journalist.
I
in real-
first thought Angela was on CNN.
Oh.
I don't know her for nothing else but CNN. That's all I know it from.
I think I reached out to her too when she curved the email. Why are people curving my pitch email? It's so good. Wasn't
Well,
it good?
Angela Rye,
Yeah,
she's
it
up.
was
She's
so
so
good.
like right here. I can see
Whatever.
her curving us. Like,
So, dialing back to your situation at the gas station with your family, right?
Mhm.
Growing up, my family, they weren't, I wouldn't say they're racist or anything like that, but like whenever I remember the first time I mentioned I was interested in a white girl, my mom was just like, why? Not like
Of
why, but
course.
like just like, I don't know, like, okay, cool, but it wasn't cool. And you mentioned you have interracial dating and all that stuff
Right,
like that. So
my
like,
entire
was
life.
that post the gas station situation or anything like that?
Of course.
And And I was just curious, like, how your parents felt about that. Like, were they comfortable with that?
With her interracial dating?
With interracial
Yeah,
dating.
because you've had.
This is what I'm saying. So see how I said before, I was like, I never thought about race.
Yeah.
My parents didn't even teach me to think about it.
Okay.
Mm. Is your parents interracial or
No, both of my parents are black. My mom, now my dad is more like, I've said some things about black men because I do date black men. I've had some experiences and I'm very open about the experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
And my dad is very quick to tell me, my dad is not as accepting when I date Caucasian men.
Yeah, because he's just like, if they can't use your comb, don't bring them home.
Right, yeah.
My mom, my entire life, my mom always taught me to find beauty.
Find love and beauty. Yeah, moms are like that. They're funny.
I just
She
felt like.
never taught me to be that. And my dad is also like, even though he's vocal sometimes, he's not like, you better not, date this.
He's
It's
not
kinda
gonna
like
say no, but it's just like
he's
I'm
just
rooting
kind of
for you.
he's just kind of like in the background at this point. He's like, oh.
Even outside of their opinion on, like, who you date, like, I thought maybe a situation like that maybe would deter you from.
I thought so too. Like I said, after that incident happened, I was filled with anger.
Yeah.
Anger that I never thought that I could ever feel based off of a person's race, right? But it became so real in that moment, I was like mad.
But I also feel like in your generation it's different. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Yeah, so you're 20. It's a little different with them. They don't sit here and hold malice.
You don't think?
No, I don't think so. I think they're.
I don't know,
little-
though. I don't know
I
too
feel
many
like
people who are
I feel like as generations keep going lower and lower, the malice gets lower and lower too. They don't hold malice. They're not gonna hold one particular person to the
for the whole race. Right, that's
Whereas
my
compared
thing.
to us, we'll be like, nah,
Don't say us like we old out here. Like,
I'm older.
I'm 27. Relax.
Nah, he wants to differentiate. But you know what? Whatever.
Of
I
course,
always
like,
say
you
he's
trying to make it seem like
my
we
younger
old
brother.
out
But we're like in the same almost generation, like just about generations
Borderline.
apart, borderline.
Yeah, facts.
Compared to she's 20.
Right.
That's a whole different. Like, my guy, stop acting like you're like what's that? A spring chicken. You're not a spring chicken no more,
I'm out
neither.
here.
Okay, but
Mhm.
you out here, little salmon. But you're not a spring chicken.
Again, I didn't ask for you to be my older sister. Again, I didn't ask for that. So between the many hats,
I need Coco and CR to come back because he's acting like totally brand new with this whole. I didn't ask for him.
What?
to
I
be
would
my-
have said this if they were here.
Okay.
I'll say it again
I
when
hear you.
they leave. I'll say.
I'm over you. Anyway, next.
I don't know what's happening with her
Thank
right now.
you. Next.
So between the many hats that you have, modeling, writing, music,
Mhm.
is there one that you enjoy like the most? And so the other side,
Of course.
So
Definitely writing.
okay.
In all aspects. It doesn't just have to be journalism. Like I said, I'm an author, and it doesn't have to always be when I'm writing books. Like I said, I write my songs.
What would you say you're the best at?
Ooh. Like as a writer or as like writing, modeling, as singing, all that. What am I the best
Yeah,
at?
like what would you say? Like you say, yo, I'm the best at this. Like I can do this.
I'm not the best at anything because you can always improve.
Ooh, good answer.
Humble answer.
That's really a great answer. Like I would just say if it was me, if I was being asked that question, I would say I'm good at all that. Like I'm the best at all of it. But like we're different type of
humble
people.
answer.
I'm not humble.
There's
There's a difference.
There's always seriously. There's always room to improve in every field. Like
Yeah,
in every
facts.
field, I don't think you can ever perfect something.
Yeah.
The reason why is because, like I said before, things are always changing.
Mm.
So if times are always changing, expectations are always changing.
True.
So like I said, this is something that I struggle with, is that I'm very goal-oriented. And I set goals for myself in each of those individual fields, whether it's writing, whether it's music, whether it's modeling, whether it's whatever.
Yeah.
I have a goal, something big. I have a bigger picture in mind that I want to achieve. And I usually say I want to achieve it by this specific time. For me, it breaks down by ages. I want to do this by this age. When times are always changing, let's say I'm a writer. One day, the trending topic is racism.
Mm.
That's the big issue in America.
Yeah.
Today.
The next day,
Every day.
the big issue in America is going to be what? Immigration. The next day,
Climate change.
climate change. The next day, finances, economy.
Yeah.
The next day, what else is going to change? War.
So there's no more America. Okay.
I think
I'm
war's
just-
actually coming sooner than we think. I ain't gonna lie.
We're already in war.
I'm about to say, like, where
Who-
you been
who's
at?
fighting?
We're in war now.
We're in war. We're in a war against ourselves. Didn't we just say racism?
Mm.
Well, yeah, America's in its own little. Well, we've been in this war forever.
We've been in this war forever. We're our own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
we like to mind everybody else's business.
Yeah. So when things are always changing just like that, I'm always having to play catch up. So I can never have perfected a single thing because something is always going to change. There's always a moving piece. When it comes to music,
When is your birthday?
December 23rd, 1998.
Oh, here come the sign talk. Here we go.
No.
I'm a Capricorn.
No, you can go ahead.
No.
Go ahead. I love zodiac signs.
I thought she was gonna. She seems like you have this Aquarius thing to me, but you're a Capricorn, which is weird. But I never met a female Capricorn, so I don't know what to say.
I don't know nothing about Capricorns
Yeah,
at all.
I only know a male Capricorn.
It's-
Very money oriented, very goal oriented, very
Yeah, this is me.
yeah,
In a
just
nutshell.
like I
That's
have,
me,
like
I
you
don't know.
have this certain type of outlook, and that's just that.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It's
Yeah.
weird. Like all your interests seem like they would take up a lot of your time. Like it's more time than the other. Like I feel like maybe you have.
Yeah, do you separate your personal life and your career life? Because you seem very career driven. Do you make time for personal life, or you just like focus everything on your career and you feel like I sleep when I die?
That wasn't where I was going. But that's a great question.
So we'll get to your question after this.
Yes.
If I'm being completely honest with you, I don't have a personal life.
I can tell. Like you seem very career. Like it's just like this is the goal. This is that. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Is that
like-
because like you haven't met anyone worth giving your personal time to, or is it just because you're so busy?
I'm gonna go with I haven't met anyone worth it.
Right.
You're still 20 though. Like
Yeah, see, that's what the thing is. People forget that I'm really young, but it's because I'm already like this.
Yeah, you
So
have.
you don't
Yeah,
even
you have.
think.
You're 20 years old, but you have this older woman type of I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it.
Yeah,
I gotta go get it.
I still don't believe you're 20.
Instead
Like,
of just
the way,
just
like the
relaxing.
conversations we had, like
yeah, instead of just relaxing in the moment, like you need to
when I was 20, like I wasn't.
relax.
I
in
couldn't
the
even
moment.
talk. Like I was like,
Yeah, when I was 20, it was a total. That's what I'm trying to say. Like
was
the
a decade ago?
generations are different.
Psych down, psych down. But like, yeah, like
It's like he know I had a bad day, but he's been coming from.
I'm trying to bring you out of it, okay? But like, yeah, like, so do you haven't met anyone worth giving your personal time to?
No, like you said, I'm older. My age, I literally say, and I say this all the time, I am like a 30-year-old woman.
Bitch,
trapped.
I'm 32. Don't play with me, okay?
I'm trapped in this age.
32.
Right.
I'm trapped in it. So for me,
I be feeling like I'm 50 sometimes.
right.
it's
Sometimes you
just
feel like
like-
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes you feel like that. So for
But don't
me,
say like you're 30. Like 30 is still thriving.
thriving, yes, but most 20-year-olds, I don't have friends that are my age.
It's because you're a model.
No.
Damn, I'm trying to find ways to like.
Most
maneuver-
models are my age.
Well, like your mentality is different. Like,
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mentality is
you
different.
could hold a conversation. Like when I was 20, like you couldn't talk to me about anything but like weed and like
For real?
anything else. Yeah, like
That's that Jersey shit.
I wasn't shit. Like you couldn't talk to me about nothing. Like dates around that time. What was we talking about? Nothing.
When I was 20, I remember just always being like, maybe because I grew up in the hood, so it was just like it was a certain different level of you had to be aware. Like I've always said, I've always respected the other cultures outside of me because my mother has taught me to be that way.
Yeah.
But I was always very aware of like, this isn't it, and this is like, I grew up in the projects, and the project is just that, a project.
Yeah.
It's just like a Chinese store in every corner, liquor store in every corner, a laundromat in every corner.
By the way, I never want to say when I was this age again, because it made me feel so weird. Like, you know what I mean? It feels so weird.
But with you, it's just like you have such just, you know what you want to do at such a very young age. You seem like you know your purpose.
And that's like intimidating to for some guys as well. Like, you
It
know,
is.
you're doing what you want to do, right?
Yeah, I think that's the issue. It's not that I don't date. I'm going to be honest. Like I said, I don't even have friends that are I mean, I have them, but, like, not for real, for real. Like,
Yeah.
people that I really kick it with are, like, 30 to 40, straight up. So even the guys that I date, mostly 26 to 32.
Do you have an idea in your head of, like, the type of person you're looking for to possibly date? Like, what they...
Yeah.
What is that?
For me, if seriously, I just want someone that's just as passionate as I am about achieving and becoming better. I don't know why that's so hard to find. It's really difficult for me.
I feel like there's more people trying to figure it out than anything.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Everyone's trying to figure out, like,
What they want to
what
do.
do I want to do?
But as long as they're trying to figure it out, does that give them a shot with you? I
Yeah,
feel like
if you're
that's
trying to
better than
figure it
being
out,
stagnant
yeah,
than,
no.
like, not
If you're trying
knowing.
to figure it out and you're actually putting in the work, yes,
Yes.
I can appreciate that. The issue is I've had a lot of people who are trying to figure it out and they're not actually getting to do anything. And sometimes I'm giving people the sources. Like I was telling someone, I really get upset because I have dated a younger guy that's not 26, 27. Like 21, 22.
And I feel like, okay, so that was my next question. Because you're 20 years old, but you have led a life where you was in situations where you always had to be more mature than your age.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm like this.
Yeah, like if I'm saying, is that why you like this? Like, do you feel the need to settle down now, in a sense, or do you want to date and have fun? Because
No,
I feel like that's
definitely-
something that the people don't talk about when you are a woman of color and you have been doing things from such a young age and you're very, like, far ahead compared to other people. Does the level different for you? Like, you're 20 years old, but yet you have this mentality of a 30-year-old. So do you want to do 30-year-old things or do you want to do 20-year-old things?
Oh, wow. This kind of goes back to my childhood. My mom and my dad would always bark at me to stay in a child's place. You know that statement, stay in a child's
stay
place?
in child's place, yes.
But the thing was, I always had to act older. I was the oldest child. My dad got deployed when I was 8. My mom had just had my little sister. And my mom was a full-time college student. So at the age of 8, I was already taking care of a baby on my own. Even before that, as I said, my mom struggled as a single mom with me. I'm like 4 years old, staying at home by myself, cooking for myself, having to protect myself. My mom's already telling me this is what to do. If someone's at the door, this is what you do. You don't say this, you don't do this, you don't do that, blah, 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 blah. By the time I turned 10, 12, my mom's already telling me, I'm looking at, this is the college that I better get into. I'm opening SAT books.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I grew up in Virginia for high school.
Was your mom a young mom?
My mom was very young. My mom got pregnant with me at 19. She had me at 20. So even I think a part of that is a reason why I had to mature. Like, you have to.
Because
So
as she's maturing, she wants you to mature too. It's just like she can't help but.
yeah, my
it
mom,
on you,
she
yeah.
put it on me. And I'm appreciative of it. Because look at me now. I'm already, like, hitting stuff like this because I'm so used to
But
going
you don't
like
feel
that.
like it's like a
Popping.
gift and a curse in a sense?
It
Like
is a
the-
gift and a curse. I always feel
It's
like
like
that.
you're very thankful. 'Cause I feel like I was raised the same way. Like, you're very thankful for some things, but it's also like you do look back on a wanting kind of feel. 'Cause
Yeah,
you never had the
I
chance.
didn't.
just
Yeah, I
to be
never
a
had the
kid.
chance to do a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Like I always tell people, a part of my life that I regret now. You were asking, do I want to settle down now or do I want to date? I want to settle down right now.
I can tell that from you. You seem like you're just like you're ready to settle down and just like I'm ready to be married. And
I'm ready to stop. Like I want it over. Like now. Because I'm starting to feel like there's nothing else left for me now besides like, okay, I can be a wife now. I can be a mom. Well, not a mom anytime soon, but you know, like I'm ready for that level because I've hit the career thing.
Yeah.
So what else is there left now for me? Because I hit it all so early.
And that is where the divide comes between black women and black men right now. Our black women are hitting the threshold early now. They're going after their dreams of the career.
Well, we've always been slower to the party, like late to the party.
Late to the party, but I feel like, but they're getting too fast to the party now. That's the thing. Like you have girls like Milan Rouge, who she has this great clothing. Like you have all these people making waves from themselves, whether it be fashion, makeup, or whatever the case is. But women are getting to the bag a lot quicker.
I mean, for me,
and a lot faster. From like I know, like watching like social media, you see girls 19, 20, 20, like they're getting to it. Like they are the new millionaires, and it's just like if they're making $1 million by 19, 20, of course they want to be married by 21, 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess for me personally, like, I just figured out my passion, like, maybe a year ago. Like, I'm just catching my stride and just, like, I got a lot more work to do. So, I don't know if I'm ready for marriage or anything like that, but...
But it's always different with men. Y'all slower to the punchline.
Yeah.
Like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely...
But that just must be a difficult thing for you to be so young and you want it, like, you want so much, but you just don't feel like these men are...
They're not measuring up.
Yeah.
It really sucks.
Yeah.
It really sucks because I'm, how do I say this without sounding bad about it? I date a lot.
You're not a player. You just crush a lot. Like, big hunts at it. Like, fuck it.
I'm not like I said, the reason I go for older guys is not that I go for them. Is I attract older guys, I think.
I literally think you don't give me 20 right now.
Yeah,
so I get it.
I literally like older men. Like that's all that comes after me, and I enjoy that because I've dated someone in my age, 21, and this person said to me, and it was what pissed me off, and it kind of made me fed up, and I was like, this is why I'm gonna be alone forever. Because this person, it came to a simple task of something so small. I asked him, and this is a black guy, and it really upset me, like really, really bad, because I don't like to hear, especially not a black man, say this. I told him to do a cartwheel. Something that simple.
I think I can guess what he's going to say, but go ahead.
Said I can't do it.
I can't do a cartwheel.
He said I can't.
Black people, we scared of small spaces. You don't get it. Like we
Wait.
There's more, right? Like, cause I
can't do a cartwheel. I try.
Stop right there. Don't ever tell me that you can't do something before you try.
Oh.
I can't do a cartwheel. Okay.
Oh. I thought he was one of those dudes to be like, oh, it's like. That's gay or something like that.
That too. That was a response
even
too.
Tried to do a cartwheel.
Like, just do it. Do the cartwheel.
That was me. Just do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm
so
not
it
breaking
turned.
my neck.
But listen, it turned from something that small, and I gave him a big picture. Don't tell me that you can't do something that you never even tried. How did I achieve the things that I have now? I'm straight out of high school. I'm coming to New York City, a place that I didn't want to be in, that I had never stepped foot in. I have no family here. I've never rode a subway.
I just gotta disagree. Cartwheel's a different man.
But look at the big picture.
I'm gonna do a cartwheel after this podcast.
Listen,
I'm not doing.
I could do it.
I've never tried to do a
cartwheel.
cartwheel.
But that's gonna set you back. That's gonna set you back. I had to break it down to a child for him.
Not doing a cartwheel.
Do you, when you with your child standing in a line, right?
If I have a child, whoever my baby daddy is, baby mama is,
please come soon.
They gonna teach him how to do the cartwheel.
But you don't want your kid to say I can't do it without trying.
I'm sure they're gonna try, but I'm not trying to do no cartwheel.
Yeah, that's fine. That's you, but you don't want your child to ever look at something and say I can't do it without trying. Right?
It depends on what it is.
Even if you if you out on a date, you trying to like you know, you
I'm
trying
not
to get with
doing
somebody,
no
right?
goddamn
It's just like,
cartwheel.
even if it's funny, if you fail, just do it.
I'm
Like,
not doing
If you
it.
fail, just thank you.
that's what I'm saying. Like, just do
That's
it.
how I
Like,
view things, and that's how I got
Like
my
cartwheels
success.
are different. It's my neck.
All
it's
right,
not,
all
it's
right.
beyond the cartwheel.
Yeah,
sis.
let's get beyond the cartwheel.
Like,
Let's
anything.
get beyond the
I'll
cartwheel.
try a lot of stuff. I'm just not trying the cartwheel.
We
Like,
gonna try a cartwheel before
Okay,
2019 's up.
okay. Moving on from the cartwheel, the big picture is
Trying.
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 Yeah.
So you never know what you're gonna
cartwheels is one of those
succeed at.
things.
I'm gonna break my ankle and my wrist while trying to do a cartwheel to further spend my time with a shorty I'm interested in. Like, I'm gonna do whatever. Like, and that's just me personally. Like, I would do. I don't know. Like, I like doing stuff I've never
Girl,
done
I'm
before.
a
And
Like,
I
Right
wish
now,
more
I'm not
younger men
doing
had
all
that
that.
Like-
that mentality. If more guys had that type of mindset that you just stated.
I'll go to hell and back for a bitch. I'm not doing the cartwheel.
but at the end of the day, it's like experience, right? Because like anything, like I came into podcasting like with the notion of thinking you could just all you gotta do is talk, right? But it's more than that. It's a
It is,
science.
yes.
It's
So,
a
like-
science to it, right?
Like you gotta just do it and see what comes out of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So-
I've tried I would never say I never tried a cartwheel, but it's just like when I was a young kid. Like, no, I'm 32. I'm
Okay,
not
wait a
doing
minute.
cartwheel.
But there we
Fam, do
go.
a
You
cartwheel,
even
shut
said,
up.
even as a kid, you gave it a try, right?
like one time for the one
This
time.
person had never given it a try,
I can understand why.
bruh.
It's a fear. Like you want to break your neck.
Okay, but we don't need
I don't think he was
fear
even
to
thinking that. I think he was
succeed.
thinking in fear of like embarrassing himself
Self-
and like
exactly, that's
you
what
not
I was
wanting to like call
thinking.
him back. Like I think that's what it was.
Yeah, it was
Break
more.
your
I
neck
think it
doing
was
the
more of a
cartwheel.
fear, and I just wanted him to say because, to me, it's beyond the cartwheel. Let's get beyond the cartwheel. Seriously, in that moment, I did not care about the cartwheel.
The effort you cared about.
That was what I cared about,
Yeah.
and because he's also a person that has been expressive of dreams and goals. Remember when we were like a stagnant person versus someone that's trying.
Yes.
This is a person that's been vocal to me about their dreams and their goals.
Yeah.
I said to him, because he had a dream of acting. So I've tried to help him. Shh, don't go there. But no. So I'm going to help you. If you say that's what you're going to go after in life, let me help you. Came to a point where I gave him a monologue to read. Stop writing your tracks. In this monologue, he looked it over, didn't even open his mouth. Literally told me, I can't do this.
Maybe you
But
made him
you're-
nervous.
No.
No, you can't do nothing, fam. Yo, homeboy, if you listen to this, if you were the dude that was on David Victoria, and you couldn't do the cartwheel, you couldn't read the monologue, then you're just not worth your time, and you're not gonna make it, bruh. Just do. That's it. Like,
Just do.
you know what I mean?
How
Like,
do people get successful?
You do.
Trying.
And I agree with that. You do.
You do.
Cartwheels.
Okay,
Fam,
over the
you're canceled.
cartwheel.
You're canceled.
I
Cut
could
it
be
out.
canceled all day. Cartwheels.
No more cartwheel.
Like
Bruh.
cancels.
I'ma go
Cartwheels
out-
is one of those things for me. Like
I've never done a cartwheel in my life, but after this podcast is over, I'm gonna attempt a cartwheel, and I'm gonna do
and
it.
guys,
and
I'm
you
gonna
be
record
impressed.
it. I'm gonna record it on my phone
Now, when
because
the
he's
recording
talking
comes
the
in, nah,
he's
don't
talking the
record it.
ultimate shit. But I'm
I'm
gonna
talking
record it
that
on
shit.
my phone because again,
Fam.
cartwheels is like I'm.
Just doing though. Okay.
I'm-
Anyways,
Just do it.
moving on.
We all came to the same consensus that cartwheel or no cartwheel, just do.
and you
Just
haven't
do it,
spoken
yes,
to that
just
guy
do
since
it.
that date.
I have spoken to that guy.
He still follows you on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, so
I
when
mean,
you
like,
post his
why
interview,
wouldn't
he
he
might
follow
tune
her?
in because he might be trying to look for more game and be like, "Oh, I heard your podcast."
Yeah, but I don't
I
think
So
heard you
guys,
like
do the
this."
It's not gonna
cartwheel.
help, because
Do the
that's
cartwheel,
the thing. That's
guy.
what turned me off from people in my
He
age
might do
bracket.
mad cartwheels.
He'll do
on-
mad
I don't
cartwheels,
think he
yeah.
will because
He's
he's
gonna
his
do
own
them cartwheels
setback.
now.
That's the thing. Sometimes with guys, which is why I feel like I'll be
Maybe
alone
right.
for a long time, is because don't be your own setback
Yeah.
in any
Yes.
field. Don't hold yourself back.
And this is coming from an overthinker. I overthink every decision I make. But if a chick wants me to attempt a cartwheel, like, let's go. Like, I'll do it. Like, fuck it. That's why you single, yo. Like, yo, do the cartwheels, yo.
I'm
Do
in a very
cartwheels for your
emotional
shorties.
state, and he just said that's why I'm single.
Do your car. Oh yeah, my bad. My
That's
bad.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I know why I'm single. It's okay though.
I know.
I appreciate being single. Though.
I'm just telling you to do more cartwheels. That's the point.
No,
of it.
I'm not. I can't do cartwheels. I'm
Got
not
it.
a fan of
Anyway,
cartwheels.
got it.
Don't worry about the cartwheels.
So, we got it. Like now or 5 minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Fuck.
cartwheel.
I have so many more questions.
No, because she's like, I swear, she was just so dope, and we hit this whole point of black and white. It was just really.
But
great
yo,
to
I
get
have a
her.
whole list of questions I didn't even get to.
I know, because
Oh,
I've never
snap.
seen you look down. That's how I know.
Mad questions I have to
That's
get to.
how. Let's get to your top two. Let's go.
It's
Come
over,
on.
man.
No, it's not. Top two
It's
questions.
over. I have no questions. I threw my phone before. It's over.
Oh Jesus.
Victoria,
I
thank
think
you
I
so
have
much.
some questions.
No, we're done. We got 3 minutes left.
Okay.
Victoria, we have a segment on this podcast. This is what we're going to end with. It's called Don't Sleep, where basically we recommend to the viewers and listeners something they shouldn't sleep on, whether it be a song you listened to recently or food you have or just some advice. And for me personally, my Don't Sleep of this week is don't sleep on the possibilities. I started this podcast 2 years ago off my shitty laptop with someone I'm not associated with. And 2 years later, we got listeners in India, New Zealand, all over the fucking globe. We were fucking setting up live events for June 21st. And it's just crazy. I never expected myself to get here. And yeah, just don't sleep on the possibilities because everything is possible. And yeah. Lainey, do you have something people shouldn't sleep on?
Do not sleep on creative expression. Always express yourself no matter how you feel, what you're going through. Just express yourself, period. Because there's always somebody out there you can help through your words.
Don't sleep on cartwheels.
Fuck them cartwheels, okay? Like, if you're not a fan of busting your head open, don't do a cartwheel, and that's just that.
Victoria, do you have anything people shouldn't sleep on?
Yeah, of course. Don't sleep on your own potential because you never know what you can achieve. Don't ever say that you can't do something until you try.
Unless it's a cartwheel.
Wise words from
Even
a
if
wise
it's
woman.
a cartwheel.
Yes, even if it's a cartwheel. Homeboy, I know you're listening because you're trying to go on another
I
date.
just want to say there's people out there who just, like, definitely afraid of cartwheels. I don't care.
Face your fears.
Next episode, we're going to get into your fear of cartwheels because I think it's a real deeper fear that you have going on. Honestly. Stop hating on people who do cartwheels. There's
And
mad
it's like, all
gymnasts
my
out here.
siblings can do cartwheels. I'm
Simone
the
Biles,
only sibling
Black
that
excellence.
cannot do a cartwheel.
You know what I mean? It's all good. I get it.
It's okay.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank
it was
you,
so much
thank you.
fun.
I actually want you to come back because I
Yes,
have
you
so
have to
many
come
more
back.
questions.
Schedule,
Yes.
of course.
Like-
You gotta
Schedule.
come back.
Ask those
Jesus.
questions next
I
time.
don't think we, like, scratched the surface of the interview.
Honestly, we just was really flowing.
We was.
And you,
That's dope. I like that.
right.
I had a rant.
You had a
Listen.
rant.
About
My
the
rant
Nazis.
is true, though. Like,
Heard
listen, do your research.
Please shout out where people can find you and follow you and DM you and all
Of
that.
course, follow me on Instagram at It's Just Vic, on Twitter at It's Just Vic. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's
Yeah.
just Vic.
It's just
It's
Vic.
Just Vic.
If you enjoyed this podcast, wherever you're listening at, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and YouTube, whatever a rating system they use.
YouTube too.
We're on,
It's Just Vic.
oh, you're on YouTube?
Yeah.
Dope. Okay. Please utilize whatever rating system they have because we definitely like seeing those reviews, those likes, those comments. And if you're interested in possibly coming on as a guest, please email us at introvertedpod@yahoo.com. Don't send us your music. I'm not listening. I can't help you. I don't work for Atlantic. I don't work for Dep Jam. I can't help you. So don't email your music, please. That's all
Unless
I
you
ask.
got a nice beat.
Don't email the music because I'm not clicking that shit. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. We out.
Thank you.
Bye.